Now we have big news coming out of the Middle East this hour, and Israel says they have received the remains of hostage which Hamas have claimed belongs to an Israeli officer killed in the war of 2014 between Israeli and Hamas forces. The Israeli military said on Sunday that the Red Cross handed over the remains of a hostage which Hamas had earlier announced belonged to Officer Hadar Goldin. Goldin was killed in the final days of the 2014 war between Israel and Hamas, and his body has been held in Gaza since then. Israeli forensic experts are expected to determine the identity of the remains once they are brought into Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the identification process will begin immediately. Let's take a listen into his statements.
שהוא מחזיק בגופתו של סגן הדר גולדין, זיכרונו לברכה. אנחנו אמורים לקבל את הגופה היום אחר הצהריים. זה כמובן יתחיל מיד בזיהוי, וידוי הזהות שלו. סגן הדר גולדין נפל בקרב גבורה במבצע צוק איתן לפני 11 שנים. גופתו נחטפה על ידי החמאס, שסירב להחזירו. בכל התקופה הזאת. בכל התקופה הזאת עשינו מאמץ גדול בממשלות ישראל להחזיר, כמובן תוך כדי ייסורים קשים של משפחתו שעכשיו תזכה להחזירו לקבר ישראל. אנחנו אמרנו בתחילת המלחמה שאנחנו נחזיר את כל החטופים.
We're now joined by Mati Zaweg. He's a geopolitical expert and he joins us live from Tel Aviv in Israel. Mati, thank you very much for joining us, as always. Do you believe this signals genuine progress in the hostage exchange process? Of course, the remains of the officer have not yet been identified. Is this largely symbolic, given the fact that fighting is continuing, particularly, of course, in that Rafah stalemate?
Well, thank you, Thomas, for having me. Things have been progressed, but they haven't progressed in a bad way. I mean, they should have progressed 2 weeks ago or more, and Hamas were delaying all the time, giving the remaining corpses of the deceased soldiers that they were not already alive, and they were doing like drops and drops, one here, two there, and they say they don't know what they are, where they are, and all kinds of excuses to try to continue their grip, their power in the different areas in Gaza, and using this as an excuse. Now finally they have they gave most of the corpses, still remain 4, I think, after they gave today Hadar Goldin. Hadar Goldin is a special soldier. He fall down on duty together with another soldier called Oron Shaul. He was recovered by the Israeli army last year, and now this one has been given now to the authorities, finishing the suffering of their family after 11 years.
Yes.
And that's what it is. Now they still have another 4. They are continue playing with the data of if they know where they are, if they don't know where they are. Israel think they know, most of them, exactly where they are.
Yes, and Mati, of course, this comes amid heightened criticism of the Netanyahu government's handling of the hostage crisis, the ceasefire deal. Do you see this announcement as an attempt by the administration to show progress while being under pressure?
Well, yes, because Israel is under pressure of the international community and also Donald Trump to put a blind eye to all kind of breaching of the agreements from the side of Hamas. And this is quite unacceptable if they are trying to attack you or killing you or breaching the agreement, which is the redeployment of Israel to the a yellow line, and to must start the second phase that they 3 weeks ago, and that is going to start maybe in 1 or 2 weeks if they are going to give back all the corpses that they still have. And this means for Hamas the beginning of the end if the international community is going to really enforce what they signed.
Yes, Matti, thank you very much for giving us your insight on those crucial updates coming out of the region. But next we move over to Europe for the other ongoing war which is going on, and Ukraine is scrambling to restore power and heating after a series of Russian drone attacks on its energy infrastructure. Moscow launched hundreds of drones overnight into Saturday, targeting key energy facilities, including power plants operated by Centrenbergo. As a result, large parts of Ukraine, including Kiev, Dnipropetrovsk and Donetsk, are facing power cuts of up to 16 hours a day. Ukrainian Energy Minister Svetlana Grunchuk has called it one of the most difficult nights since the invasion began in 2022. Meanwhile, Ukrainian strikes on Russia's infrastructure have left over 20,000 people without power in regions near the border. The Russian attacks also targeted 2 nuclear power substations in western Ukraine, raising concerns about nuclear safety. Kiev has called on the International Atomic Agency to respond urgently to the threat. Despite downing 406 drones and 9 missiles, experts warn that the ongoing strikes could lead to heating shortages as winter approaches. Joining us once again is Matti Zaweg to discuss this. Matti, Ukraine's energy grid has suffered what Kiev calls one of its most difficult nights since the invasion started in 2022, with power cuts of up to 16 hours a day in some regions. Is this the start of another Russian winter offensive aimed at breaking Ukrainian resilience through energy loss?
Well, you already don't have enough words to describe things because they say one of the worst. There have been many days that they have been the worst. And some of them, they were deadly like this one because the soldiers were in circle in one area from the Donetsk area that they couldn't go out, and probably they were killed by hundreds. And they also are in shortage of electricity because they are targeting from the Russian side all electric supplies, etc. But this strange war has been giving a very special outcome until now. In the last year, Russians are going further, conquering more and more territories, another crossroad and another village and another important valley and so on. And from the other side, the Ukrainians are really making painful bombardments of refineries, factories, warehouses for weapons and everything. Just in this last week, they bombed the area of Bashkortostan and also the area of Nizhny Novgorod, and they caused a lot of damages, creating a situation in which even fuel supply or solar supplies and other things is getting worse and worse for the Russian side too. So they are doing painful things to each other. They are killing each other by thousands, and until now, nobody looks that it's going to be a ceasefire unless it's going to be really a lot of pressure also from Europe and the United States.
Yes, Matti, do stay with us as we have further updates coming out of that conflict.